Now for our featured story of the day. I'm going to be sharing Plan B's Bitcoin forecast. Plan B is the creator of the Bitcoin stock to flow model, and he recently shared in a tweet Bitcoin's journey to $5 million per BTC. So let's break this down, and let's start with the actual tweet he just shared. He tweeted this yesterday, 7:04 a.m., as you can see, March 18th. It already got almost 500,000 views. And shout out to Plan B, by the way. Here's what he tweeted alongside the stock to flow chart. Stock to flow 2020 to 2024 halving cycle, $50,000 Bitcoin. That's an estimate, family. He also says stock to flow 2024-2028 halving cycle, $500,000. Let's go. And stock to flow 2028-2032 halving cycle, $5 million. He also wrote, yes, stock to flow equals exponential growth, and it will continue, in my opinion. Now, here's the stock to flow chart, family. It's ultimately projecting, as we just mentioned, Bitcoin hovering above 100,000 post 2024 halving, between 100,000 and $1 million per coin between 2024 and 2028. Now, someone asked him in the thread, I'd be happy if this happens, but 3 to 4 data points can only predict the general direction, not the price, like 500,000 average 2024-2028. Caution is advised to all. Plan B responded, very true. Only 3 halvings. We had one in 2012, 2016, and 2020. My question for y'all in the chat, will this be your first halving, second, third, or fourth? Holla. He also wrote, plus the crucial pre-halving period where Bitcoin stock to flow grew from below 1 to a 4. And stock to flow is only for the general direction, of course, and with a wide error margin. For example, the prediction of 2020 to 2024 was 55,000, but the reality was 33,000. So he makes a good point there. Now, navigating through these predictions, let's discuss it as per this article. According to the model, the forthcoming halving cycle spanning 2020 to 2024 is expected to solidify the Bitcoin price at around 50 Gs. Keep it in mind, we're already above 50 Gs. We're at 65,000 at the time of the live, but the real spectacle unfolds in the ensuing cycles with projections setting the stage for Bitcoin to ascend to $500,000 per coin in the 2024 to 2028 cycle, eventually reaching a monumental $5 million per coin in the 2028-2032 cycle. Now we have ARK Invest Cathie Wood. I shared her prediction a couple of episodes ago on the pod. She's ultimately saying we're going to blow past $1 million. She's now saying $1 million by 2030 is bearish. She thinks we hit $1 million a lot sooner before that. And she's now projecting 2.3 million per coin, which is more in alignment here with the stock to flow. Now, the predictions made by Plan B have sparked interest and a debate amongst the crypto community. As I just pointed out to you and read that thread, Plan B acknowledged this caution, pointing out his predictions are based on the 3 past halving events and the significant pre-halving period, suggesting that while the stock to flow model can guide the general trend, its accuracy comes with a considerable margin of error. And additionally, another user in the conversation, known as Phoenix, remarked that while Plan B's projection might seem overly optimistic, the true outcome remains to be seen, emphasizing the need for patience. That's right, hallowed be thy name and patience. This user highlighted the uncertainty surrounding Bitcoin's future, especially considering the potential impacts of these ETFs and widespread adoption, signaling an open-minded but watchful approach to market developments. Now, the latest price action, we just corrected after hitting the new all-time high of 73,800 roughly 5 days ago. We're currently corrected 10,000, but we're right back above 65,000 at the time of this recording. So let me know your thoughts on what Plan B has to share. Do you think we hit 5 million per coin between the stock to flow model's projection between the 2028 and 2032 halving, which ultimately means we're going to have a halving in roughly 30 days, which is the 2024 halving. Then we're going to have another halving in 2028 and then another in 2032. So by that time, can you realistically see a $5 million Bitcoin price? Let me know. JV, I personally have been calling right here. I don't know why I speak about myself in the third party. I kind of find it funny at the same time, but nonetheless, JV. I see by 2029, us blowing past $1 million. And I think that is a bearish scenario. I've been calling that every day of the show for the past few years because Cathie Wood's been projecting 1 million per coin by 2030. And then I always say, well, if the cycles are still intact, then it's the year preceding the halving, which would be 2029. We hit the cycle peak. But what if all those models are broken? Because this is unprecedented. This particular cycle is being driven already by the institutional FOMO via the ETFs, which were officially launched on January 11th. And the inflows are insane. When we have unproportionate outflows, we do get corrections like this, but the outflows cannot continue at this pace because, as I mentioned earlier, GBTC is now down to roughly 360,000 Bitcoin left. They had over 600,000 at the start of the year, but obviously things are switching up and changing, and I think the inflows will continue overall outpacing the outflows like we have been witnessing. Right now, the daily issuance of Bitcoin being awarded to the miners is 900 per day. That's about to get cut in half to 450 Bitcoin per day. And asset management giants, juggernauts like BlackRock are scooping up over 10,000 biddies per day on the open market. So Crypto Quant, I covered this a few pod episodes ago, is projecting that within 6 months, we get a supply shock, which means the 2 million Bitcoin on the exchanges are gone, dried up. Everyone's buying them the same way MicroStrategy is buying this dip. As we mentioned earlier, MicroStrategy now controls 1% of the Bitcoin circulating supply. Their goal is to control 5%, which ultimately means they're looking to accumulate 1 million Bitcoin. Then we got to calculate the game theory playing out in real time. BlackRock, MicroStrategy, neck and neck, right? Accumulating biddies. Then we also got to, add and factor in all the other asset management giants, the Fidelities, the ARC21. Then we got to calculate the ETFs that aren't even in existence yet, which are about to be launched, like the one out of Hong Kong. There's probably going to be a multitude of them. Then the one out of El Salvador and all the other ones. Now we have Brazilians, high net worth individuals. Brazil has a population over 200 million. They can now buy Bitcoin through the IBIT BlackRock Bitcoin ETF. Now we have Thailand. I mentioned this. They're soon going to be able to, at least their high net worth individuals are going to be able to start buying Bitcoin through the IBIT BlackRock product as well. Then there's a lot more other ETFs that aren't even on our radar yet that'll most likely be launched this year. That's the game theory playing out in full effect. Notice the fees, they're all competing to get the lowest fees so they can take that lion's share of the market. This is another good thing about competition. And then we have nation state adoption. Countries like El Salvador continuing to buy Bitcoin. El Salvador, Bukele doing their thing. Then we have other nations that haven't announced accumulating Bitcoin yet, but have been secretly buying the Bitcoin, according to Edward Snowden and other whistleblowers. Then, of course, as Max Kaiser has been sharing, the Bitcoin price can realistically go anywhere from $220,000 to $750,000 per coin. This cycle, all previous models are broken. Yay, nay, 2024, 2025. When are we going to hit the cycle peak? Holla at your boy.